Better get out, start training, start doing some owl kicking. You don't just walk into the woods and start doing owl kicking. You got to practice owl kicking, okay? What is owl kicking? Hit the subscribe button. You'll figure out what owl kicking is. Word of the day is L.G.O.P. What the heck is an L.G.O.P? Little group of patriots. Little group of patriots, guys. Do you have an L.G.O.P? Do you have a little group of patriots? What is a little group of patriots? Little group of patriots is your backup system. Friends, family, neighbors who get together, train, to protect one another, to assist each other, and if need be, to defend each other, right? So weird, uncertain times with this virus spreading around, and not only just the virus spreading around, but the way that people are reacting to it, the way the government is reacting to it. So let's kind of talk about it, think it through, and I think you'll understand the importance of an L.G.O.P, why you should have friends who have a plan in a time of emergency, in a time in which you may need them. So right now we are seeing roughly 1/3 of the nation is heading towards unemployment. Currently, people are being sent home from their job, right, to stop the virus, to stop the spread. And what does that mean for a lot of people? For a lot of people, that means a couple of things. One, no more money coming in. 2, the food is running low. 3, not having a plan. The oh shit, now what? It's the oh shit, now what that has led to the toilet paper shortage. Everyone going and buying toilet paper, and this is because they didn't have a plan before, and so what they've done is they saw what everyone else is getting, and they said, oh, they're getting toilet paper, we better get toilet paper. There's no one out there who has a need for 400 rolls of toilet paper, so they're just grabbing it because they're freaking out. It's just the oh shit meter is taking off in their head, spinning like crazy. Now, if you had an L.G.O.P before all of this started, a M.A.G, a mutual assistance group, then chances are you're already prepared for stuff like this. That's kind of the idea behind it, is to be prepared in a time of need, when you might need to be prepared. And a lot of people will have a bad attitude towards groups because they want to lone wolf it, right? We all know that guy. Well, I'll just walk into the woods, you'll never see me again, and I'll live. It's not true. I can count on my hand maybe the amount of people that I even kind of believe have the ability to walk into the woods and exist in the woods. Many people who have that mindset of, oh, I'll just go into the woods and survive, have never even practiced it. Zero practice doing it, or they were a Boy Scout at one time, and they went out and didn't realize that their den leader was the one packing all the hot dogs. You're not gonna just go out into the woods. What are you gonna eat? You gonna eat pine cones? What are you gonna eat? Do you know what to eat? Have you gone into the woods strictly to survive off what you can find to forage? There's not that many out there that can do it. There's not that many out there that can do it in the change of a season. Springtime, summertime, maybe, right? You're gonna go out there and hunt, eat some stuff, shoot some stuff, right? Survive. This isn't the reality for many people. For many people, they are stuck in a city, apartment buildings, and currently, right now, the government in many states has ordered those people to shelter in place, to stay inside their home. You think those people were ready? You think all the people who had shelter in place orders enforced on them, do you think that they were prepared for possibly 18 months of disruption? Now, some people have this attitude about it that, oh, this will all be over. Oh, they'll find a cure, a vaccine for this. What is that based off of? The fact that we've done okay in the past? Or the fact that we don't remember the Great Depression, that we didn't live through world wars? Did we get too cushy? Did we get too complacent? Right? We think nothing bad can ever happen to us, especially in this country, right? America, the great superpower. The skills of Americans are so minute because they have to be minute. That we can go and get a burger on the corner at any time we would like. What happens if the food dries up? What happens if the food goes away? What if you can't go to the store and get food? What if they don't let you go to the store and get food? What if they tell you you can't leave, but you're hungry, your family's hungry? What are you gonna do? Did you plan for it? Is your L.G.O.P prepared? Do you guys have a plan to come together and work together? Now, some of us farm. Some of us have animals. Some of us are slightly more prepared than others. Some of us have been hoarding food away since the 1970s, right? Cans of Spam by the pallet load. Those people are going to be good, but that is such a small fraction of the amount of people in this country, the very small fraction of the people, and we are at the dawn of this thing, the absolute birth, the beginning of whatever this is. And I think we're going to see the worst of it. I think we are going to see how bad it's really going to get. And I could be wrong, right? It's just speculation. They could come up with a cure tomorrow, right? And we could all just pull our heads out of the sand and go about our day. But what if that is not the case? What if the world we knew before is no longer the world that we know going on from this point forward? But we assume everything's going to be back in place. We've never seen this in the country. We've never had government trying to figure out how to order people to stay inside their homes. We've never seen that. We've never seen schools shut down at this magnitude for this long, where the majority of the country is forced to now homeschool their kids. That's a whole dynamic in itself. We've never seen this many people laid off. Most of us don't remember the Great Depression. There's very few still alive today that may remember it. We don't know that world. We don't know anything about that world, right? So did you prepare? So guys, I'm making this video today to just a warning, advice, just to put it out there to let you know that you might not have a little group of patriots, but you could tomorrow. You could start on it tonight. You could watch this video and call your best friend, share this video with them and say, hey man, we might need to do this. Hey man, we might need to start working together. We won't get through whatever this is by lone wolfing. You're not going to lone wolf through this. Things are probably going to get bad, right? If we're home not making money and we can't buy food for our family, we're going to come up with an irrational plan to figure out how to get food. And that means taking it from other people, right? Taking it from other people. That's probably going to be at the end of a weapon. Are you prepared for someone to come and take what you have? Maybe you're preparing to go and take what other people have. Maybe that's the only resort you have is, I got to go take from other people, right? So who are the people who are going to go get taken from? They're not going to be the hard targets, right? They're not going to be the groups of people who are well-armed and well-trained, because why would you die going and getting a bag of hot dogs when you can go rob the little old lady down the street, right? It's all those people that are alone, who aren't coming up with a plan, who are going to make themselves targets if this thing goes in the way that it's heading. This isn't to scare anyone. This is only to provide advice to you guys to be prepared. I'm not the person making up this term L.G.O.P. I didn't invent little group of patriots. There are people out there who are already prepared to do this. I am already prepared to do this. My group is already prepared to do this. So if you're not, you're behind. And I don't want you guys to be behind. If you are watching my channel, then you're probably a decent person. We know some people aren't decent people who watch my channel. They're not going to heed this warning anyway, though. But you should heed this warning, guys. Don't get caught alone. Don't get caught unaware. Don't get caught unprotected. Find people around you. Start coming up with a plan. Start talking about scenarios. What could possibly happen? What happens if the water goes out? What happens if the power goes out? What happens if the sewer goes out? What are you gonna do? Do you have a place where you can bring your friends in? This thing gets scary too, because you don't know who's coming into your place isn't infected. You don't know that they're not bringing this in. So with a 28-day incubation period, there needs to be a quarantine standard set up with your L.G.O.P. You know, people coming to, if you have rural property like this, maybe you have a farm and you invite friends and family over, don't just invite sick people over. Have a 28-day plan to quarantine them for a period of time before you're making contact with them. Now this is totally acceptable to then bring them in. You could patrol property like this more than 10 feet away from each other, you know, and decrease that contact with each other completely. We have this stuff in place because this thing was a couple months old. If you watched this develop from China, you're 2 months ahead of this thing already. If you're just the kind of wacko that thinks about these things in general anyway, and you guys have come up with a contingency plan to deal with something like this, you're ahead of the curve. So here's the plus side to all of this, guys. There are many people like you. There are many people like me. There are many people who don't plan on going at this alone, but maybe they don't know who to turn to, where to start. There are people out there who are willing to link up with other groups, other L.G.O.Ps, other M.A.Gs, to work together, to bring together, to provide, to protect community. Because here's the thing, the bigger the herd, the harder, right? The harder the target they are. You got a group of 20, 30 guys who know how to scoot and shoot. Makes it hard for a group of 4 or 5 people to take what you have. And I think that we are at the dawn of watching people take what other people have. I think in the back of our minds, we feel that the government is going to bail us out on this one. We're seeing things take place that we've never seen before. The National Guard's been called up in multiple states. We've seen different city and state leaders trying to figure out how they can gain the authority to impose what is basically martial law, which they don't have the right to impose at all. Yet they're trying to figure out how it is they come up with the ability to impose that kind of stuff. Martial law is not going to protect you from starving to death. That is going to be the idea of how do we stop people from spreading the disease. But if you and your family are at home dying quietly with the disease, there goes a chunk of the disease, right? It dies off. You look at it as if you had sick animals in your herd, you quarantine that animal. And if that animal dies, well, that animal dies, but it didn't infect the herd, right? So there's a greater good for the masses here that everyone needs to be aware of. And you don't need to be convinced of the fact that you're part of that masses plan, because you're probably not. You're a single person, right? The masses are whoever makes it out the other side, unaffected by this thing. So that's it, guys. Long enough video on L.G.O.Ps, putting it out there. L.G.O.Ps, if you're in the area, my area, you want to reach out to us, reach out, northcountryoffgrid@gmail.com. Reach out. We are in connection with other large groups of people, like-minded individuals who are working together and communicating in the time of need, if need be, ready at a moment's notice. Like most of the advice I've given with what is taking place today in the world, take it or leave it. It doesn't matter to me. I don't want to see my friends and family hurt, but if you are unwilling to take advice, if you are unwilling to follow advice, you know, you can't be drug kicking and screaming into survival, into protection. Yeah, that's something you got to choose for yourself. So go through the steps, guys. Find some good friends, find some good neighbors, people you can trust. Form an L.G.O.P, L.G.O.P, little group of patriots. All right, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. Put in the comments below what you think. Let me know if you've got a group. Let me know if you're prepared. Some of you won't say anything at all. Some of you will blow this off. I don't know what to tell you.